Hi, this is Daniel from Camper Iceland. In this video we are covering the Sprengisandur lathe, which is the biggest highland route leading from the south to the north or the other way around. We're going to cut this down in a few episodes because otherwise it will be a bit much for one video. But where am I at the moment? I'm actually entering the highland here. This is F26. Here is where you have to turn around with your motorhomes and normal cars. Like I'm going to say in this video, the line is green dotted, which means you can only go there in like mountain vehicles, and also in our 4x4 categories. They are strong and big enough to handle the road. Yeah, so without further ado, let's dive in it. I will finish this video, which is more of information, how to prepare, etc., and create the post accordingly. And in the next video, I will be covering river crossings and stuff like that, actual pictures from the highland, etc. So let's dive in it. I hope you like the video and you subscribe on our YouTube channel and check our posts regularly. If you have any questions that we can answer, like you saw in our previous video, we had this beautiful question from Alain from Quebec asking where to shop in Iceland so that you can buy cheap groceries. Just send us an email, send us a message on Facebook, call us up, whatever. We cover it for you and create a video. All right, take care and have a lot of fun. I'm a bit excited myself. I haven't been here in many, many years, even though I grew up in this country and I'm born in Iceland. It's always special to go into the highland by yourself. All right, looking forward. Take care. Okay, I'm situated at the last gas station before entering the highland. This is called Hrauneyjar. Be sure to fill up your vehicle here, no matter what happens. If you would get stuck or if you decide to go somewhere to a total remote place, or you want to spend a few more days, you will be really glad that you stopped here. Fill up your tanks. In the early days when we rented Dodge Rams with campers, people would sometimes buy gas canisters because they thought that the gasoline wouldn't be enough. For several years now we have been basing our 4x4 categories on Isuzu, Nissan and Toyota mainly. And ever since then I never had the question, do I need a canister? They just fill up their diesel tank and they're good to go. You know that you're at the right place. This is how Hrauneyjar looks. And this is an OB gas station, which means ódýrt benzín. It's cheaper gasoline. And we have beautiful weather today. Yeah, and unlike typical roads, Highland Track F roads open solely based on soil conditions, snowmelt and structural stability managed dynamically by vedur.is. That's the Icelandic Road Administration. So opening times can shift drastically from year to year. For example, last year at this time I drove to Landmannalaugar, and from Landmannalaugar the south pass towards Kjölur, and it was no problem at all. I had a beautiful trip. But this year they opened and then they closed again. So at the moment this is closed, even though we're like a week past when I went there last year. So it varies. You can find a schedule on our webpage based on years of experience of vedur.is. They give out like a guide when they open in general. But to explain the phenomenon, the thing is that in the winter time it's covered in snow, then it melts, and then you have this muddy dirt road, and your vehicle would just sink into the ground. So it needs to thaw and then it needs to dry. And when the road is dry enough that you don't sink into it, you're able to go that way. So that basically explains the opening hours of the highland. And you will always find that we post vedur.is to check the weather. because not only do you want to enjoy your ride, you want to take videos probably, but yeah, I mean, it's nicer in good weather condition. And second of all, we always say check road.is and do this here in Hrauneyjar again and check, has anything changed? The reason why I'm saying that is because if it's really hot and the sun is shining, the glaciers melt and the rivers get bigger, which means basically that river crossings are easier in the early morning or even in the night rather than in the afternoon. That's something to bear in mind. So I prepared some screenshots of what I saw yesterday when I was planning the trip. And the sun is in the south, that's where I am at the moment, and I'm driving towards the north, where the sun is going to be. So it seems that I've chosen the really correct time to demonstrate how this works. It was a bit of a coincidence. I mean, not everything is plannable. And the other thing is, I checked road.is myself, and I saw that the condition now of the F26 is basically, it's a dotted green line. It's not a straight gray line. And a straight green line, sorry, not gray, would mean that it's passable for 4x4s. But since it's dotted, only special vehicles, it makes this comment. You will see it on the webpage of vedur.is. Are able to go there. So I entered this into artificial intelligence, and it tells me that a standard SUV like a Dacia Duster or something wouldn't be able to go. But when I entered that we have these Isuzu trucks or Nissan Navara or Toyota Hilux, etc., it said that these vehicles are good to go. Also, something to consider is that you have your home on wheels, which means if you would get stuck somewhere, don't panic. You have a kitchen, you can cook, you can stay there, you have warmth, everything. So it's not a biggie. So there are basically two things that can happen so you would get stuck. Sometimes people underestimate our rivers. I would say that's number one. And secondary, the clearance. So we've had these incidents that people drive over some huge rocks and damage the AdBlue container, damage the exhaust pipes, and everything underneath gets dented. Be aware that river crossings and underbody stuff cannot be insured. Our insurance company does not cover it, so and we cannot offer an insurance on it ourselves. So be careful. The thing is that our vehicles are not meant to be used to sort of batter them over the highland. If you want to do that, you'd rather rent a buggy or buy an old truck or something and go have fun. Our vehicles are mainly here to enjoy driving from A to B. So I would suggest go slower, enjoy your trip, because many people only do this once in their lifetime. It's like a bucket list thing. So enjoy it, drive carefully, and for the love of God, drive safely. We want you to be safe. So another thing that we are going to look at is the F35, which is basically 35. It's not even sometimes an F-road anymore. After a few years ago, it turned into a normal road, but still it's not available for motorhomes. It's a heavily traveled route through a central bedrock. It's fully bridged, meaning that drivers encounter zero river crossing. But it's a rough, heavy washboarded road, but accessible for softer SUVs. The only thing to bear in mind with the camper is when you have to stop on a steep hill and the vehicle stands a bit sideways, that actually the camper is looking into the road. So just come to a complete stop to pass other vehicles if you're on like a really narrow road. But Sprengisandur is like the big brother. We always say go to F35 first and see how Kjölur makes you feel, and then take the Sprengisandur. It's the longest, most remote highland track, cutting directly between Hofsjökull and Vatnajökull, ice caps. It's stark, unforgiving, and requires navigating several complete unbridged active glacial rivers. That's why I said glacial rivers are sometimes have more water in them if the sun is shining, like today, in the evening. So cross them in the morning. But anyways, river crossing is something we were going to show later on in our videos. I did a lot of talking now because we're still preparing the trip towards there. And like I said, consult road.is before entering the track. A route marked green can turn into red in matter of hours due to thermal changes. Keep a close eye on physical barriers. If a road is closed or marked impassable, insurance is immediately voided anyway, and rescue cost is entirely out of pocket. Now I'm going to exit my vehicle and show you here in Hrauneyjar. There is actually quite some good information that you can read about. There is a big map showing the Sprengisandur trip. There is a few explanations with pictures, what to expect, another map, and the Fjallabaks lace, which is the Fjallabaks route. Really beautiful. You can see here in 1933 how this was done. And speaking of the old days, here is something interesting. My grandfather, he owned a standard limousine back in the days when he was younger. I think it was the time when the first Jeeps, like Willys Jeep and Russian Jeeps, came to Iceland, and the Ford Bronco. But with his limousine, he used to drive backwards over the river. So you can imagine, if you look at my Wrangler, if you drive into the river, the water will splash into the grill and over the engine and everything. But when you back up through the river, you will hit the water with your bumper, and the front will not have to face the water income. So in the old days, they managed to go with much smaller vehicles. You might wonder, why am I not driving our rentable vehicles? So I'm driving my 7-year-old Wrangler here because our vehicles are currently on rent. The benefit is maybe that it has a bit bigger tires, but the downside is you have to sleep in the back seat, which is very uncomfortable, but I'll survive. So what am I trying to cover in this episode? I mean, I will basically be talking about mastering glacial river crossings. Then I'm going to take you through a bit of logistics, what to bring along the trip. The fuel I already covered in this video, that you should fill up your vehicle here at Hrauneyjar. Then we're going to talk about environmental things, and I just want to point one last thing out before actually heading in there myself. We had these, I think there were French tourists that came here with their own cars, and they went off-roading. And in Iceland, you know, you might call it off-roading when you drive like these remote roads, but off-roading in Iceland means basically if you go off an official road, and that is illegal. It is illegal to be off-roading in Iceland. And back in the days when I was a kid, when I took my driver's license, that was in '94, people were a bit easygoing and didn't mind as much as today. But today people go crazy if you go off-roading. So these French people have been on big blogs. There are like Facebook groups that I'm a member of myself that talk about how the weather is in the highlands, how the roads are, etc. So there have been these horrible pictures of these people driving over some kind of moss fields and God knows what, destroying the beautiful landscape. They managed to be in Iceland Monitor in English. They were in the news. They are in newspapers posting their license plate. So they're probably in this year, 2026, the most unpopular people in all of Iceland. So don't go off-roading unless you want the attention, because everybody has like a phone in their pocket and they will be taking videos of you, etc., etc. That's one of my most important tips. Don't off-road. drive safe, and let's head in there and do some more videos.